It's cold, windy, and rainy. The ideal weather to stay at home, wrapped in a blanket, sipping hot chocolate, watching movies, reading books, and just relaxing. But I am not at home. I'm out walking the streets all alone. It's almost midnight. I have been walking for more than an hour, and I still haven't found her. The girl I've been looking for is nowhere to be seen. My heart beats faster as my eyes scan every single person I pass by. I have to find her quickly. She can't see me. If she does, she might get scared and run away again. I know that this sounds stupid, but I assure you this has nothing to do with being in love. In fact, I don't even know who this girl is. But why am I looking for her then? Well, let me tell you. 3 hours ago, I was sitting at home when I heard a knock at the door. When I opened it, there was no one there. At first, I thought that it was the wind, or maybe a branch from the tree outside hit my door. However, when it happened again a few minutes later, I went to check my security cameras. To my surprise, they showed a girl standing on my porch. She was wearing a hoodie and a mask, so I couldn't see her face. I asked her if she needed something, but she only replied with a strange laugh, and then she ran away. Of course, I didn't think much of it at the time. Who would stand on someone's porch in the middle of the night and then run away without saying a word? Still, something about this situation felt off. Maybe because she knocked on my door twice. So I decided to go check it out myself. And that's how I ended up walking the empty streets all alone. I passed by supermarkets, gas stations, cafes, all the places that I knew she could possibly be hiding. Yet she was nowhere to be seen. I was starting to lose hope when suddenly I saw something. It was a black hoodie. I stopped and stared at it. Could this be hers? Slowly, I approached the hoodie and found that it was lying on the ground next to an alley. I looked around, but there was no one there. Taking a deep breath, I walked into the dark, narrow space between the buildings. The air was cold and damp, making my skin crawl. There was a faint sound of dripping water coming from somewhere deep inside. As I walked further in, I noticed a pair of legs sticking out from behind some trash cans. My heart skipped a beat and I rushed towards them. Was this the girl from before? Had she gotten hurt? I had to make sure. With trembling hands, I moved the trash cans aside and gasped at what I saw. It was a mannequin. I felt a wave of relief wash over me, followed by a surge of frustration. Why did I even come here? There was no way that this girl was hiding in an abandoned building like this. Right, still, something told me to keep looking. So I turned around and continued walking deeper into the maze of dark alleys. As I turned another corner, I heard a noise, a soft sob coming from a dark corner. My heart started racing again. Could this be her? I slowly approached the sound, trying to make out what was happening in the darkness. As I got closer, I heard the sob again. It was definitely a girl. I called out to her, "Are you okay?" But instead of answering, she ran away. I chased after her, my feet pounding on the pavement, as I tried to catch up. I could hear her footsteps, too, light and quick, like she was purposely trying to stay out of my sight. Then suddenly, she disappeared. I stopped in my tracks, out of breath and confused. Where did she go? How could she have vanished into thin air? I looked around, searching for any sign of her, but it was no use. It was as if she had never been there at all. Disappointed and a little scared, I turned to leave. That's when I saw it. A pair of eyes gleaming at me from the darkness. I jumped back in surprise and stared at the eyes. They seemed to be watching me intently, and I couldn't help but feel a chill down my spine. Slowly, a face began to emerge from the shadows. It was the girl. She was standing there, her eyes fixed on me, a small smile playing on her lips. My heart started racing again, and I took a step back, unsure of what to do. "Who are you?" I asked, my voice trembling slightly. The girl tilted her head and blinked slowly. "You already know who I am," she replied, her voice a soft whisper. Confused, I shook my head. "I don't understand." She took a step forward, and I instinctively took a step back. "Don't you recognize me?" she asked, her voice laced with a hint of sadness. I looked into her eyes, trying to make sense of the situation, but it was no use. I had never seen her before in my life. "I'm sorry," I said, "but I really don't know you." She nodded slowly, as if understanding my response. "That's all right," she said softly. And with that, she disappeared into the darkness, leaving me alone in the shadows. I stood there for a moment, trying to process what had just happened. Had I imagined the whole thing? Was I going crazy? I shook my head, dismissing the thought. No, it had happened. I had seen her, heard her voice. It was real. But who was she, and why was she visiting me in my nightmares? I sighed, feeling a sense of unease wash over me. It was time to go home. As I turned to leave, I noticed something strange. The street behind me, which had been dark and gloomy just moments ago, was now brightly lit. The clouds had parted, revealing a clear night sky full of stars. The wind had died down and the rain had stopped. It was as if the darkness itself had lifted. I stared at the night sky in awe, wondering if it was just a coincidence. Just then, I heard a familiar laugh. It was the same laugh I had heard on my security footage when she visited my house earlier. I turned around and saw her standing there, her eyes sparkling in the moonlight. She was no longer wearing the black hoodie, but a beautiful white dress that flowed around her like water. Her hair, which had been hidden under the hood, was now loose, flowing down her back in waves. She smiled at me, and in that instant, I felt a connection, a pull towards her that I couldn't explain. It was like I had known her forever. Before I could question it any further, she spoke. "I've been waiting for you," she said softly. "Waiting for me?" I echoed, confused. She nodded, her eyes shining with excitement. "Yes, waiting for you to come after me." Suddenly, it all made sense. The visits to my house, the cryptic messages, it was all part of a game she had been playing. And now she was inviting me to join her. Intrigued and with a mix of fear, I asked, "Where are we going?" She smiled mysteriously and took my hand, leading me deeper into the night. As we walked side by side, I couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder. The night sky above us twinkled, guiding our path. The darkness that had felt so ominous before now seemed inviting, even friendly. The girl turned to me, her eyes shining with excitement. "Ready?" she asked. I hesitated for a moment, my mind racing with questions. Who was she? What was she planning? But as I looked into her eyes, I saw a kindness, a warmth that put me at ease. Trusting my instincts, I nodded. "Ready?" And with that, we disappeared into the darkness together. Journey ahead was unknown, but I knew one thing. I was exactly where I was supposed to be, alone with the shadows. Now listen carefully. If you want to see another scary video, then click on this video on the screen now. But don't take too long, because after you click the video, you only have 3 seconds to subscribe. After that, the curse will catch you. And remember, if you ever find yourself alone in the shadows, make sure to trust your instincts. You never know what awaits you in the darkness.